What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dented Cans. Back in the studio. It's your host, Mike Fenoya. As always, I'd like to shout out our sponsor, Sunset Lake CBD, farm-crafted CBD from Burlington, Vermont. I'm currently enjoying the Vibe gummies, the sleep gummies, and the coffee. If you go to sunsetlakecbd.com and shop around and then use promo code DENTED, D-E-N-T-E-D, you will get 20% off your entire purchase. That's sunsetlakecbd.com, promo code DENTED for 20% off your entire purchase. I'm here today with my pal, your pal, Charles McBee.
What's up, buddy?
I feel very self-conscious and uncomfortable in this chair with this camera as close to it is. No matter how much I lose weight-wise, I still feel like I look very fat.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that a thing that people who were heavy and lose weight go through, where they still feel like they're in their fat body? Is that
I don't know if I actually was fat enough to have a fat body.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not skinny enough to not have a fat body. I just see what I don't like when I see. Do you understand what I like? No, when totally. I look, what movie was it where, like, was it Vincent D'Onofrio's character maybe or something? He like looks in the mirror and he's like a villain, but he sees like a little fat baby in the mirror. I can't remember what movie it was, but it was some like villainous comic book movie.
Yeah.
Where like I could have sworn it was D'Onofrio. Did he have a bald head and some shit? That,
I don't remember.
Anyway, he like looks in the mirror and it's like not him as a grown jerk, but it's him as like a little fat baby. Like, so his perception of himself is just a pudgy little dump.
Oh, totally.
And I think that's what I have that. I have Vincent D'Onofrio villain.
I have that in this era of that we're in this called 40s, where now I look at myself and I'll see a photo of myself.
Yeah.
And I'll notice things about me that I've never noticed before, because I've always been like a skinny dude, right?
Yeah.
So like I've just been to the point where not, and I don't mean that in a like self-aggrandizing way. I mean like too skinny, where it's just like, hey, eat something, you know, like, girl, do you eat something? I was always like that kid. It's like scrawny would be the better term for it. So I'm always used to seeing that, and then I went through a phase over like the pandemic where I was like, you know what, screw this. Like, I'm gonna like get, you know, be whatever best version of myself I can be. And I put on a little muscle. I started working out, and I was really proud of myself. But I didn't realize that when you put on weight, if you don't maintain, it just turns into whatever the hell it wants. So now now my weight like fluctuates depending on how often I get into the gym or this and that. But if I don't do the gym and I go for a while, like sometimes I get photos from when I'm on stage or whatever, and they get sent to me, and I'm like, who is that?
Really?
Yeah. No, like I can show you some, because I don't look like it now because I've been like maintaining, but there's photos where I'm legit like gut.
Come on, a McBee gut?
A McBee gut.
It's like got the McDonald's MCB gut. That's
horrible.
When you're heavy, you're the golden arches.
I'm like, this is not hitting Instagram. Like, this is not. This is in my. These will stay in my phone, never to be seen by anybody. And then but I'm so used to not seeing that I don't pay attention to it. So now I pay attention to stuff like in the mirror. I'll look in the mirror and I'll see like how stuff is fitting and stuff like that. I've never been that guy before, but now I'm that guy.
Do you think it's because you're in your 40s?
I think it is because I'm in my 40s, and I think it's just I've always had a great metabolism, and now my metabolism don't metabolize the way that it used to.
Yeah.
And so like I hold on to.
Where do you hold it?
Right here.
In your belly.
My belly. And I notice I call it my uncle belly, because I remember as a kid, when my uncles or my dad were at the age I am now, I remember them having a little belly.
Yeah, a little softness.
A little softness, because they were all athletes. You know, they were all like these men.
Arms and shoulders and chest strong, but then a belly.
A little belly pops up. And I always remember like, oh, what the hell's going on? And now now I got it. So now I have to like maintain even more.
Dude, isn't it so weird that like you are talking about remembering your uncles as like they were men, they were gods, they were big older people that were like, I don't know, did you even think that we would ever be that old? No. And now we're older than those at that time. Like, I remember my uncle being in his late 20s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you're a dinosaur. You're going to die soon. You're dying. Now I'm like, I would love to be 38.
Yeah. I posted something like, I think it was yesterday or the day before. It was just like, you realize that your parents were basically like just making it up as they went along.
100%.
You're just like, what?
Yeah.
I thought at that age, you thought they just... Yo, they had this shit on lock. They knew everything, and then you realize as an adult, like, yo, they were just like figuring it out.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's bananas, dude. I remember my mom once saying to me in frustration, she's like, there's not like an instruction manual on like how to be a parent. And I'm like, I mean, come on.
Come on.
There's also not an instruction manual to a car, but I know not to like drive it into a wall. Like, what the fuck did you know? But that's crazy that they were, and I think about that. Like, my parents were, my dad was, when he was 30, he had 4 kids. And I'm like, I don't even fucking. How?
And maybe a mortgage. Did they have a house?
At that time, yeah, I guess renting or a mortgage, close to that, if not then. But it's an interesting thing to kind of like, at 29, I'm like, I want to do comedy.
Yeah.
4 kids. I was in high school, I think, freshman in high school. I think. No, that's impossible. Middle school, right? I don't know. Anyway, it's insane though to think that like, I don't, cause I'm getting that like, see, I don't think of you as scrawny by any stretch, but you are one of those people that I get mad at that like you probably like lose weight while eating. Like your metabolism is so good that like you get on the scale and you're like, oh, look at that. I lost 8 pounds or.
It used to be that way. I was definitely that guy for a while, but now it's not like that. Well, now my metabolism isn't necessarily like it just sheds off, but like after a few poops, then I'm just like, it'll start to get back to normal a little bit.
Wow, you're letting out some logs,
I'm letting out some. It's just like, all right, let's get. You know what it is, which is crazy because now I get articles about this shit, and I didn't even look it up. It just knows.
Oh yeah.
Like I get all these ads about like anti-bloating and are you having trouble? Are you holding too much fat? Are you trying to get blah, 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 blah? And I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, this is me. It used to be like, I eat whatever, boom, 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 boom. Now it's just like, I'm holding on to a burrito for like.
Oh, and you feel it. And you can like, you are experiencing its journey.
Yeah.
Like, you know where it is at all times.
And it's just like, my body, it just literally reshapes my body. I'm just like
you're like a snake that ate a rabbit.
It's like, what is this? Yeah.
You're like, yo, is that a chihuahua in that snake?
Yo.
You're like, people look at you and they're like, Charles got extra steak.
Yeah.
You could see it.
Yeah.
Bro, like, that is so, how important, honestly, and here's a good like old guy code how important is like a good consistent shit? It's the most important thing. My wife has called me bowel obsessed.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it. I mean, I don't take it. I think she meant it as an insult.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of it.
It's how you properly start a day. Like my day does not start. My body doesn't even know to function until I've had a good movement.
Right.
Like it's just like the day has not properly started yet. If there's any reason that I have to start a day, like I have to get moving or I have to leave, but I didn't get to
a flight, let's say.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, what?
Anxiety of the yin yang the night before.
Oh my God.
I'm doing lines of Citracel, dude. I'm getting fiber in every orifice that it'll go in.
It's crazy. If I'm going to the, first of all, to that point, my body naturally, we're comics, so we wake up at a certain time. We don't have like a day job where it's just like we're waking up at 6 a.m. blah blah blah. It's just like wake up whenever you wake up. So my body naturally wakes up around I don't know, 9, 10-ish, whatever, depending on how late the spots were the night before. But if there's an early flight involved, now you're waking up and your body's like, what is this? What's going on here?
Brutal.
And so you have to either force, what I call it meditation, because that's literally how it feels. So you have to either force an early meditation where your body's like, what's going on? I'm not even awake yet. Or you got to just go to the airport and hope that it doesn't kick in around the normal time that it usually kicks in. It's just like,
God.
9 o'clock. It's like, no. We're not on safe territory.
Yeah, now you're like putting your bag in the overhead compartment, and your body's like meditation time.
Yeah. It's like, no,
time
it
to
isn't.
do some deep breaths.
No, it isn't.
And then what? Then you have to hold it, and the whole time. And I always called it claustrophobia, which I don't think it is, but I feel like I'm carrying some poison that I need to like I gotta eliminate it. Why am I walking around with this bomb in my system?
Yeah.
And it's a thing where I will. Okay, so I have about an hour drive to LaGuardia. Yeah. Let's say I'm flying out of LaGuardia, and it's a 7 a.m. flight. I do the night before check-in. I do, my pre-check and all that. Like, I'm good to go. I know how long it's going to take me to get from the parking lot to the gate and the drive. I wake up an hour to an hour and a half before that to slam a coffee, get out the squatty potty, because the squatty potty is like a meditation enforcement tool. Yeah. It's like Yanni when you need to get to that place. Yeah. Like if you lift up and this is something I got trapped in, but if you lift your legs,
it works.
And it shoots that it expedites the meditation.
Can I just say, squatty potty, and I remember when the squatty potty came out, maybe one of the greatest marketing campaigns I've ever seen in my entire life.
Amazing.
I remember the commercial. I remember the cartoon, like the way
the drawing.
I was like, what? Who?
what a design
genius.
Flaw. Yeah, totally.
It was like amazing.
Yeah, what genius made that?
Came up with this? What Don Draper came up with this brilliant marketing? But yeah, go ahead.
No, but you're right. Like, I mean, that's the thing that'll make or break a day, a weekend. Sometimes it's like if you get up and get like a good. I always have like a turd inventory going on. Yeah. Where I'm like, all right, I did a big one last night, so maybe this morning's will be just little, but that means I'm probably gonna go again later that day. And there's always like I'm always like, I have an agreement with myself about the next one that's coming. Yeah. And I am obsessed about it. And there are times when, for instance, I was just on vacation with my wife and like I didn't get a good poop out. Yeah. And we were ready to go have a day. And I'm like, babe, I'm like, listen, go like, I don't know, like read a book or do something. Yeah. I need like my alone time. I need sound support. I don't worry about like poop smells. Yeah. I want sound support. I don't need my wife on the other side of the wall hearing me either strain or hearing plopping or anything. Yeah. I need sound support. Yeah. So I have my shit playing. I yell through the wall for her to put on TV. Yeah. And then I can actually like breathe deeply and zone out. Now,
I use the phrase, my fiance hates wasting water because I blast the water. Yeah. She's like, you're wasting water. I'm like, well, I'm saving our relationship. So which one do you want more?
Take your pick.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, seriously. It's so true. And if I don't have my squatty potty, the first thing I do is I look around. I was in Aruba. Yeah. I needed to find something to prop. Yeah. To perch. To gargoyle. Yeah. I wanted to gargoyle. I think I'm gonna start calling it gargoyle. Yeah. But to perch up on, and there was like a little step stool in the closet. Why, I don't know. Yeah. But that worked. So like I had to like basically set myself up, trying to still somehow maintain some type of sex appeal to my wife of 11 years. Right. But I'm now bringing in a step stool, an Aruban step stool, into the bathroom that we're going to share so I can like get out a good poop so we could just go on with our day. Yeah. I feel like this is 100% normal, but I don't think about how this must appear to her, who is not bowel obsessed, but is also someone who could go like days And that makes me bonkers. When I hear people go like a day or two without pooping.
And she's a nurse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that healthy though? Going a day or two?
I think she just trusts the process.
Yeah.
Like she's not gonna go like gargoyle it.
Right.
Like she's just gonna like, man, if I gotta go, I gotta go. If I don't, I don't. I'm not gonna but back to like flying and like, I will literally like give myself a headache, half anxiety, half gargoyling it, like just to try to get a pre-drive to the airport poop out.
See, my thing is like, if I'm kind of if I have to go, then I gotta go type of thing. But it's on a schedule. It just happens. So I just know. Like if I woke up one day and I just knew that I went through the day and I didn't have to, I would think it was strange only because I just know how it goes. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, that's off. But yeah, I need to properly start the day, and I need to feel safe. All right. By feel safe, I mean
keep going.
I can't go to number 2 in a public restroom that looks like it's a public restroom. Meaning, if there's any sign that another ass has been on this seat, my body locks up. I don't want to see someone else's drop of pee. Yes. I don't want to nothing. Mm-hmm. So like if it is a restroom situation and it happens and I'm at the airport, let's say, I will stalk a restroom and wait for the cleaning crew to come. Yeah. They usually they do the murder scene.
They do.
Yellow tape.
They do.
Don't come in here type of thing. So I'll wait and I'll spot one, and then as soon as they come out, I'll dive in because I know it's like fresh.
Yes.
But just going into a random I can't. My body locks up.
I wanted to say one thing, Mikey. You got a thought? Go.
Oh, I have a travel hack too, because traveling on the road, comedy.
Yeah. The
little spray bottles that you can get for like your toiletry kit that you can like put all your stuff in. I keep one with antiseptic in it, like a spray, like a bacteria spray.
Yes.
Because I don't trust public toilets, but I also don't trust my own bowels.
Yeah.
I get about, now that I'm 40, since I turned like 38, I have about 5-second warnings now, where it's just like everything's fine. Shit.
Yeah, like I have start sweating.
It's over. So like I have no choice, but also I'll let it run a little bit and like just spray, get it done, because I also have the same problem. I hate public toilets, but I will go the extra mile and clean.
If I were to show you what was in my backpack right now, in the bottom case, in like the bottom pocket, there is, to your point, there's a travel pack of Lysol disinfectant wipes.
Yeah.
There's a pack of alcohol hand wipes
and a pack of butt wipes, and you hope you don't mix the two.
Exactly, you nailed it. Always my pack of can-do butt wipes. No.
You grab the Lysol and you're like, oh boy, hemorrhoids are burning today, buddy.
I just bleached my own asshole. But I have 3 packs of cleaning wipes in case, because we travel.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't know what you're gonna, and I've learned that the hard way on like a bus tour.
Yeah.
But I also carry around, to like what Mike said, that CVS sells in their travel department. I'm sure Dwayne Reed and all of them do, Rite Aid, but like little baby tiny Lysol disinfectant spray bottles, right? So if I ever do have to hit a public, God, it's awful to have to do that, but sometimes I've had to.
You got to do it.
And I want to ask you, okay, so that's what I do. So I have I'll spray the toilet. Got to admit, I do that in hotel rooms too.
Yeah.
Or I'll take the thing and I'll wipe it with the Lysol disinfectant cleaning thing. Or worst case, I use one of the alcohol hand wipe things, which is basically Purell in a wipe.
Yeah.
And then I learned this. Someone told me this, and I don't know if you guys want to debunk this. Mike, you got the web right there. Someone told me, now when I ever have to, poop at a public place, I always would take toilet paper and cover the seat.
No, yeah.
Did you hear what people have been saying?
No.
Okay, so
nest egg it or nest it or
nest,
something.
nest egg it, right? Nest it. I think. A nest egg is like a savings account, right, or something.
Oh yeah, a nest egg, but like
so just cover it with dollar bills. Like if you just nest egging it would be just covering it with 10s and 20s. What I heard was, now this blew my mind, and I think about it pretty much every weekend when I fly. Germs cannot live as long on porcelain that they can on paper. So airborne shit dust and pee dust and farts and whatever other things international travelers at LaGuardia have is floating around the air, and it lands on the teepee that I'm now covering and putting it on the seat, and also mainly putting it on that front piece.
Right, of course.
So,
the front piece is always the worst.
It's the worst.
I usually get about 2 arm lengths worth, and then I make myself a little pillow for my wiener. Yeah. Because I'm a big guy, and I don't mean like in there, but like I just take up too much square footage. So like I have to tuck in. So I create a pillow so that I don't ever touch the seat.
Oh, God.
But according to the Medical Daily, the Times, using any type of cover for a seat is essentially useless. You're more likely to get an infection just through like touching your face randomly.
Which means that's how gross life is.
Yeah.
Is what we've been taught to do is not good enough. Like everything's dirty. But everything's covered in a mist of shit.
My friend had a joke early on when first starting out. He goes, first thing I do when I walk into a bathroom, I take 2 long strips of toilet paper and I cover the cracks in the door because I don't care who you are. You're always looking in there to see who's taking care of business.
That's true.
Yeah. Aren't most of the toilet tissue is usually in like a plastic container,
but the bottom's open.
Yeah.
And I worry about like when the last rip. This is how OCD I've become with germs. Is like that guy that last sat there, which already I'm freaked out that someone sat there.
Yeah. That's
Replace the toilet.
Yeah.
I want disposable toilets. But like like he was wiping and potentially had some poop dust or pee, whatever, or sneezed or picked his nose while grabbing toilet paper. So his dirty hands grabbed the last piece that's still in the machine, like in the roll. So now what I try to do is almost kind of like, while I still have the Lysol wipe, grab that piece, pull it down, tear it off, throw it in the back, and then tell myself I'm starting fresh, but I'm not. Right? So I believe that that's the case, that like paper, I'm just collecting old piss dust and putting it in like a little quiver for my arrow.
You're who I was always scared to become.
Thank you.
Because I used to keep.
I don't think I'm wrong though.
I used to keep hand sanitizer pre-COVID in my car. I'd Lysol wipe everything in a hotel the second I got there, and I'm just like, I just realized like if I keep doing this, it's just gonna get worse for me. So I had to just like start touching doorknobs and licking floors. Like I just had to be okay with like.
I haven't got to licking floors yet.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right though. But I do think I'm part germaphobe, but I'm also part right that everyone's disgusting.
Yeah.
Everyone is disgusting. And so I want to ask you, I want to throw this out there. Will you go into that mom and dad bathroom that's just for baby changing station?
Absolutely. A private bathroom, absolutely.
No guilt.
No guilt.
There's a woman out there, her baby's screaming, she's got to pee. You're like,
if I'm already in there, sorry,
you're
lady.
already in there.
It is what it is.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
I almost got suspended from high school because I used the faculty bathroom, and this wasn't true, but she was like, I'm taking you to the principal. I was like, the men's bathroom right now is completely destroyed. There's nowhere for me to go. So it was either in this toilet or on the hallway floor. So your choice. Wow. And I think I chose right. And then she let me go. I was like, ooh.
I'm on a career in law.
I got a career in crime.
Then Mike got a debate club scholarship.
They made me the quarterback after that.
I will tell you, in my high school, we had a security guard, a retired cop. Loved him. Shout out Jack. He hung out in the coach's office in the locker room. And if you brought him a Dunkin' Donuts medium regular, he would let you poop in the coach's office.
That was a key.
And there was always a book of matches, or like a box of matches in the back, so you can like light a match and just like kind of, you know, get rid of those
stank. Guardian angels.
The guardian. I mean, really, he's the, when there were one set of footprints in the sand, that's when Jack was carrying me. My hatred of public bathrooms has also made me start paying to go to the Delta Lounge.
That's the other thing. Delta Lounge, game changer. If you're, you know, I get it, you know, if you first class or this or that or the third, but like that stuff like that, absolute game changer. Knowing one of the benefits, few benefits that we have as comics is that we have clubs throughout the city that we can just pop in
and poop
in. Yeah.
Poop in, pop out.
Literally, if I show up to Gotham before 8 p.m., they're like, you're here to poop. You're damn right.
Shout out Gotham for having the best pooping situation in the whole city.
Yeah.
There's two private, essentially, bathrooms to use there.
Yeah, great.
It's unbelievable.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I was always against this, but another comic, Giulio Gallerati, turned me on to the Delta Lounge showers.
Yes.
Have you ever done one?
Yeah,
No.
I've done one.
Dude, it is an absolute game changer.
Yes.
I was always like, who in their right mind? They're clean.
No, they're clean, yeah.
They're legit. I went in, I was coming off of like a long corporate gig, then a late night gig at a club, and I was like dead inside, and I was like, I got to do something. And I went into the shower, and it was like, I could have flown the plane.
Wait a minute.
I was so refreshed and felt so good about it.
Were you in a hotel?
No, my hotel was over.
No, they're in the lounge.
So like you checked out of your hotel.
Did the gigs.
Oh, did the gig and then went straight to the airport.
Then I went to the airport and I was just like dead to the world, took a shower. And I was like, I will never take a 30-minute opportunity if I have time to not take a Delta shower.
A Delta
shower. It is an
shower.
absolute game changer.
I guess the thing I think about is like, what are you doing with all, so you just cram your dirty clothes in your backpack?
But you can also open your stuff up and put fresh clothes on. I put on some fresh. I put on the same hoodie.
You showered in the
same
airport?
pants.
I've done a Delta shower.
Oh,
fresh
you know what?
undies, fresh socks, buddy. I'm telling you, you go out there.
I'm not against
right
it.
as rain.
And you like, I don't know if
I'm not against
from
it.
what I remember is like you kind of make a little reservation or something like that.
I think you could do it on the app,
And
but
they-
also
and
the
they, like,
second you get there,
call you up and just like, hey, your shower's ready.
Like a truck
Well,
stop.
thank you.
Like a Sky truck stop.
Yeah.
Did you ever shower at a truck stop?
No. Now that
I've
horrifies me.
I have.
That doesn't sound as luxurious as a Delta shower.
No, it was terrifying, but it was a necessity. That was after weeks. I think the longest I ever went without
weeks
taking
without a shower.
Oh, it wasn't weeks, but
yeah.
it was like I went basically probably 6 days without taking
Was
a
this
shower.
like on a tour?
Following the band Fish around the country when I was like 19. Now, I had jumped in a pool. I had, like...
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a quick shower. There, we went to a festival. I left home, went to like a 3-day festival. On the way back, we like jumped in Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
And I kind of scrubbed up with some soap and shit. But like driving home, we stopped at a truck stop to sleep in the car overnight. This is 19-year-old me, 20-year-old me would never do this now.
Yeah.
But we're at a truck stop and I was like, I need a shower. And they had like, we pulled into the right truck stop and they had truck stop showers. I sacrificed a pair of sneakers.
Oh yeah,
There was no way my feet were touching that ground.
Right.
And you pay by the, like, it was like $3 and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was basically like a car wash for me. Like I just went in and
Yeah.
scrubbed up, but was 1,000,000% aware. I had my back against like a corner.
Yeah.
So I was not going to get like attacked.
So it's like an open,
It's stalls.
like prison style.
It's like a Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
It's like prison style.
Yeah,
Like you go in and they call like shower number 3 open for whatever. And you have like your receipt. And you go in and shower up and like, I had my towel and whatever because they had shit, but I'm like not using upstate New York. Like when you get up to like the upstate New York where it's like the south of the north.
Yeah.
It was like that. And I'm like, I showered and that was it. But I'm not against an airport shower.
No, it's legit. It's it's the opposite of what you just described. It's private. It's like
I thought you guys were talking about pooping in the shower at Delta.
No. It's like a private. You get your own private.
But you know what they got in them?
Bidets.
Toilets.
Yeah.
Oh, in the shower.
Private toilet, private
the-
shower,
yeah.
Big mirror. You can. I mean, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
A
unbelievable.
whole body bidet.
Yeah.
So like I could just like turn the shower on and sit down and just.
No, it's like the toilet is separate.
So it's like a spa bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm into this.
I used to this would be I can end on the pooping with this. I used to, prior to like being passed at like clubs and stuff and using the clubs, I used to go to the plaza and I would do my best I belong here impersonation, or I would do my I dare you to say something. I'll pull a race card and I would like beeline it to their restrooms, because their restrooms are, first of all, at the time I was like living in the Bronx. I was like poor, wannabe comic. So the fact of just even being in there made me feel like Julia Roberts and Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
But like beautiful bathroom and private. I love the private stalls. I mean, toilets might have well been made of gold. Like it was proper.
Okay.
Now they got like extra security and
Well, you know my favorite hack?
Yeah.
Just go right up, ask the person at the front desk and go, "Hey, I'm sorry, what is regular checkout time? Oh, it's noon? Okay, great. Thank you so much." And then just walk to the bathroom and do whatever you want in that hotel.
Yeah.
Because why would anyone ask that?
That's great. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's a standard question. They won't even think
Brilliant.
twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost hate telling people that. Now it's going to get out.
That's great.
Well, we'll save that for the Patreon. Yeah, we don't have to focus on pooping much longer, but I am very happy to know, and this is why things like this are important. You got to talk to people your own age about the things that you think only you experience.
Yeah.
Because like I for a long time was like very nervous and embarrassed about my poop cycle, my importance of like regularity.
Yeah.
I'm currently dealing with a back injury that has totally hamstringed my regularity when it comes to pooping. That's how I know I need to get work done on my back. I have a herniated disc, L5S1. Shout out to all my lower back injury people, which I found out on stage in Chicago this weekend.
Yeah.
I go, "Where's my L5S1s at?" And everybody went nuts.
Oh my
And then I
God.
had people coming up to me. Dude, when you open up the channel to your age and embracing your 40s or embracing your injuries or your whatevers, the conversations find you.
Yeah.
And people come up and they're like, "So what happened? What are you do? Did you get an epidural yet?" Which I did. "And are you going to have surgery?" "Don't have surgery." "I have a guy you should talk to. I have a book you should read. I have these pills work. These don't. Like, get this butt pillow, get this whatever." Like, and you just start getting like this, there's comfort. We're not alone here. But when you're in it and you first start to feel something, you're like, who do I even, what do I do?
What do I do?
It's like first day of school again.
Yeah.
When you just go, "I'm scared." Like, does anybody else's ass hurt? Like when so I have a sciatic nerve issue going on in like my right leg where I have a herniated disc and it's pinching the nerve in my back. My right hip, thigh, knee, calf, ankle, I just have a current of pain. Constant. Like it's constantly at like a 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But like if I go from sitting to standing to sitting, it's like I get like Morse code being shot through my leg. So it goes from like a 3 to like a 10 and I just can't move. Like I'm just like in agony. And I like tweaked my ankle in the woods walking my dog in November. Flew to LA 2 days later. And on the plane, I'm like, oh my God. Like I was freaking out. Like I asked like when the planes that go from like east to like full coast to coast flights where they have almost kind of like a little foyer, like where, I just went and stood in there and I'm like, is it okay if I stand for as long as I was in agony? And it hasn't gotten better. So I went to one doctor, they did an MRI and he's like, "You have a herniated disc and you need surgery immediately." I went to another doctor and he's like, "If you were playing in the Super Bowl next week, I'd say we do surgery, but you're clearly not playing in the Super Bowl next week." And I was like, "Is that a challenge?"
I didn't need clearly, Doc.
Clearly it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Your Yelp review just went down, but I'm like, but he's like, let's do an epidural. Let's do physical therapy. Now, I've been a very active, healthy, athletic person. Now to go to physical therapy, and they're like, roll up a towel and hold your leg up. And there's a lady next to me pedaling a bike with her hands and Maury's on. And I'm like,
where am I?
What is happening to me?
Yeah. And herniated disc.
Herniated disc.
Is one of those things that sounds old because you heard about it with our uncles and our dad. And you're just like, oh, that's an old and now you're like, wait, what? Dude,
I have a assortment of lower lumbar support pillows. I have like exercise things that like I could bring on the road with me that are like a sling that like you do in your bed.
Yeah.
That you put around your foot and you pull your like to stretch your leg out.
Yeah.
I've Googled like hotel pool lower back exercises. I'm currently like in the process of deciding whether or not I'm going to get surgery. Lower back surgery.
Yeah.
44 years old. I wanted my 40s to be my 20s with money.
Right.
And it's been not that.
Yeah.
It's been a pandemic that broke my brain, and now my back's broken.
Have you gotten compression socks yet? I just got my first.
Oh, I had compression socks when I was in my 20s because I had a blood clot in my lung when I was 25. Yeah. I turned 50 when I was 8.
Basically,
I mean, really, I kind of like, I started going bald when I was like 11. I was like quitting cigarettes at 13.
You had a family of 5 by the time you're like 17.
I was using my allowance to pay like alimony. I was paying child support. Like, yeah. But like, it's a real thing. And it's getting to the point where it's like, I'm in Mexico at a music festival thing that I was doing stand up at, and I get up from the pool and I kind of winced in pain, and a guy just sitting across from me, he's like, I know that face. He's like, where is it? L3, L4, L4, L whatever. And I'm like, it's L5, S1, which is lower back.
Yeah.
And he goes, man, I've been there. And he shows me, he's got a scar where he had surgery. And he goes, I don't recommend this. And then another guy sitting near us goes, I'm sorry, I don't mean to jump in, but surgery like saved my life. And this guy's like, well, you didn't have a good, you must have had a bad surgeon, blah, blah, blah. Now we're having like an argument about back surgery. And I'm like, I don't want to be, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to be this guy.
Yeah.
But it's happening and I can't help it.
I think that's the nature of quote unquote getting older, or what. You're never ready to be that thing.
Right.
It's never about being ready. It's just is what it is. And you just have to.
It's breaking my heart. Dude.
Yeah. I wish there was, and maybe that's what this, pod is or whatnot, but I do wish that there was a similar to like, let's say like financial literacy, how we were never taught that. And it was just something you had to crash course into. I feel like these types of things, not just health, but like health at certain ages, are things that we should have been like guided into. Maybe
like some type of like an old guy code.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Like some code of like we're passed down.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Old guy code.
Old guy code.
Broken code.
That's it. Yeah. It's the broken code. I mean, really, but maybe like that's what we're giving. Like we have to open up like the communication in like, and that's what I do think is a generational change is like.
What about I code? Like I code.
I. So yeah, no, it's definitely like something where like you need to have some sort of like a passed down book of knowledge from even one, like if 35-year-olds are listening.
Exactly.
And it's like, yo, get fucking ready.
Yeah, exactly. I want to
stretch, bitch, because like your 40s hurt.
Bro, like, yeah, stretch the whole nine. I once, somebody once told me, it was just like, imagine having a car when you were 16 or whatever, and somebody told you that this is the only car you'll ever have.
Oh my God.
The rest of your life. How would you treat that car versus if you thought you were going to have a bunch of different cars. It'd be that, like, that's our body. So going, had I known that before, I probably would have treated myself a lot differently.
I'd have had way more slices at 2:00 in the morning. I'll tell you that.
You said way more?
Or so I wouldn't have had so many late night slices. Yeah, way less. Sorry.
And I also wouldn't have had so many stupid stickers on that car.
Right.
Like Calvin peeing on a Chevy sign or whatever. That's
Yeah.
I agree with that, and I think about that a lot lately. Where it's like, bro, our hearts, from the minute we pop out of our mom, it never stops. We don't get to shut the car off.
Yeah.
It's idling constantly.
Yeah.
Our hearts don't get a break.
Yeah.
And like, how the hell do they beat for 87 years or whatever, 93 years? When someone dies, it's like, yeah, your heart didn't, it's like a bulb's going to run out.
Yeah.
But you can at least flip the switch.
Yeah.
And we're just cramming shit and booze
non-stop
and stress,
and
like running and sex and pain and like all the stuff that we just beat on that car.
Yeah,
the car is not sitting in a garage.
No,
under a tarp with like heat lamps and
no, just foot to the floor,
constant. I made jokes about that, about how like I'm 43, 44, and I've got about 98,000 miles.
Yeah.
And it's not like highway smooth mileage. It's like New York City cab driver miles.
Yeah.
Like people getting in and just smoking with the windows up and loud shit music. Like the things we do to our vehicle.
Yes.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
You see a cab and you're like, why is it creaking so much down the highway? Well, that's me laying down.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like if I had lights, if I had a check engine, like,
oh my God,
light, how many things are like off in my system right now?
I think that's the thing that you, especially nowadays, it's just like, when you're in your 40s, you're kind of just trying to maintain. Now, Christian Finnegan used to do a joke. He was just like, I know I'm never going to get shredded, but I just kind of want to decay gracefully. And that's kind of where I am. It's just like, okay, even though, fine, now my 20s, not even my 30s anymore, but if I can just age gracefully as possible, like I'll be okay with that. I just don't want to. You see a lot of Ghosts of Christmas Yet to Come.
Yes.
That you just go, no, that can't be me. Like, I refuse.
It's so amazing that you said that, because I've been thinking about a Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come that I saw when I was 17 that I'm nervous I'm now becoming. I was a pharmacy technician at a Walgreens, and basically my job was to, like, I'd get the script, I'd fill it, I'd type out I learned like pharmacy jargon.
Yeah.
So like PO is by mouth, BID is twice a day, TID is 3 times a day, QID is 4 times a day, PRN is as needed. So it's like this whole doctor shorthand.
Yeah.
But I would like write it out. I'd fill the prescription, print out the label, put the pills, the label, and put it down. And the pharmacist would check, make sure everything's good, approve it, and then go, right? We had a guy that used to hang around the pharmacy, okay, and like wait for like a shift change essentially. And when a new pharmacist would pop in, and then he'd come and be like, I'm waiting on that prescription for Percocets. And he was like my back pain, and he was always had kind of glassy red eyes, and he was like a drug seeker essentially, right? That like back when you could probably like, and this is pre like internet where it is now. I mean, we all had like a AOL disc or whatever, but like he probably was coming in with like bunk prescriptions. Yeah. But he was just like, I'm in so much back pain, I don't know what else to do. Like he admitted fraud. Yeah. And he's basically, but that back then you didn't call you just go, come on, get out of here, man, you know? And like he would just be like crying, and he's like, my back hurts so bad and I have no idea what to do, and nothing else is working, but I can't get any more prescriptions. And I remember, don't ever be that guy.
Yeah.
That guy was always like a cautionary tale to me, where it's like when I broke my arm, I had surgery and I was on Vicodin for it.
Yeah.
And I started to like it way too much. And I'm like, that guy at
that
Walgreens,
guy.
the dude in the red flannel. I remember him. I could see him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, don't be that guy. And I'm not taking any medicine because of that guy. Like, I'll take Advil.
Yeah.
But like nothing else works, nothing else. And I don't want anything to, because that's a slippery slope. Pain meds, dude. And I've gone to doctors now and they're like, what do you want? Like Vicodin, Oxycontin. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, I want you to kick me in the back.
Yeah. and make
just,
it better.
Yeah. I want you to tell me to stop being a bitch. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, like pain is real. And then that gets me into some weird, like, this is their business. So like me going to a pain management person, is it me getting sold a bag of goods that's kind of like, all right, well, let's try to mitigate the pain before surgery, and then they're getting 3 or 4 months of like co-pays and all that shit. I'm a mess about it, and it's making me feel so old and sad and depressed. But also, there are so many people that are old and sad and depressed about their backs that it's almost making me like, all right, like I'm not alone in this. Yeah, there's a sad community of limpers.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, dude. And I asked one of the doctors, I'm like, am I just like back pain guy now? And he's like, what's gonna come and go throughout your life? And I'm like, no, like there's no going back.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, for a while. He's like, but you gotta be aware of like, I'm like, can I just work out like a madman and get better?
Like straighten it out, yeah.
And he's like, you could try. Like, he's like, 90% of these heal themselves, but I also travel a ton. And then they're telling me about people who get surgery, where it's like you get surgery and then like 4 days later, you're flying across the country totally fine. But
yeah.
It could slip at any time. Yeah. And then there are people that avoid back surgery because they don't want to cut. I mean, you get one spine.
Yeah.
But also, the discs are pinching a nerve that's sending shooting pain. How long till I do permanent damage to that nerve?
Yeah. How many?
There was a guy that was sitting by the pool that goes, I can't feel my pinky toe anymore because I put off surgery. I go, you now just don't have that. You have a ghost toe?
Well, like, that's not good.
Right. So I'm like, so I have surgery. And then this guy goes, well, I'll tell you what, when I had surgery, I couldn't get a boner for 6 months until they had to go do another surgery. And I'm like, well, fuck my pinky toe.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I have to choose, now I need to choose, like, what do I want dead? What do I want alive? I hate it. But what do we do?
Yeah.
It's getting old.